Hello everyone and welcome back. This is World of Tanks with Black Mike. And well, actually I'm going to set some general volume a little bit down. That should do it a lot better. And we have had some... oh well, I'm on the test server at this moment. So yeah, and I've got all these new light tanks I'm going to discuss in this preview of the upcoming update 9.3. And well, just to show you guys, this is the LTTB Russian Tier 7 light tank, which I am here showing. But first, some minor changes to the menu. As you can see, we've got the settings button, or actually the menu button to the top left that actually changed. The player and player menu and stuff like that. You can see the service record there, my personal rating, everything's there. Premium, you can extend it easily like that. Well, this isn't changed, but that earlier was in the top right corner. And creating a platoon is now becoming a lot easier. And wow, they've actually improved this as well. Showing ready, well, yes, I'm already anyway, but I'm not going to battle, and it will even show what tank you are using. And well, 3 slots because I've actually got premium. Yeah, I'm sure I want to leave the platoon. Battle button stayed, but the little bar beneath it is gone. Here are the battle types now, with random battle, historical, team battles and tank companies. You also got special battles and strongholds battles. Well, team training and battle training. Battle training is the tutorial. And the golds, credits and experience that can be used here. And well, that's just about all the changes. And this little change here, kind of vehicle, and the statistics are a little bit better ordered. I actually made all these light tanks primary vehicles at the moment because, well, you do not have to change and stuff like that. So let's take a look at the tech trees at where they will be found in the tech trees. First, the Russians will have the MT25. After that will be the LTTB, and then the T54 lightweight, which will be on the same tier as T44 and the Object 460, and right between it, and will lead only to the T54. So using light tanks to get to tier 9 will not get you to the Object 430. You will still have to go through the medium tank line above it to get to the Object 432. But the LTTB is after the MT25, so the MT25 doesn't have an empty line anymore, and will now go on towards 2 tier 10 medium tanks. At the Germans, you first had the awful Panther, whatever you call it, and it would only lead to the Indian Panzer, but now it will also lead to the RU-251, the Spähpanzer. And that's the tier 8 light tank from the Germans. It will be completely on the bottom of this tech tree view. And will lead eventually to the Leopard 1. Which probably will be a pretty nice add-on. But it will only have the 90mm Rheinmetall DM1 gun. Which, well, I hope I'll be able to show in action what it's actually capable of. And then at the Americans, we've got, well, you had the Chevy tier 5, it didn't really change, still has the 75mm M17 gun as best gun. I hope they will change the matchmaking, I don't know about it. And after that, the T-37 light tank. Well, elite in my case at the moment. And, well, we'll talk about the guns and everything a little bit later, but it has got quite a lot of upgrades and also an extra turret. The Americans have more than the Russians. And after that, the M41 Bulldog, the Walker Bulldog. It's quite a nice tanky too, and I'm sure I'm going for it. Will cost 56,000 research points, and T-37 28,000. And the T-49 will cost over 100,000 research points. But yeah, well, we're gonna hope or see if it's all worth it. But this tank has got a ridiculous big gun, 152mm gun launcher, XM81. It's a conventional gun. And, well, I'm totally going to show you the gameplay of that tank. I'm totally a real American nerd in this game. But let's just take a look first at all tanks. I've upgraded them completely already. And the first Russian tank, the LTTB, Tier 7 light tank. It does have one turret, so no upgrade for the turret. It looks a little bit like the T-34 turret. And, well, you might recognize the body a little bit. A T-50 or A-20 type body. And, well, it will do 68 kilometers per hour top speed. Let's not go there. We'll have quite a lot of noise there. And, well, it doesn't really weigh that much. Just about 22.5 tons. So, not that bad. And it does have a 700 horsepower engine under the hood. And it does have a nice 950 hit points life pool. The hull armor, well, it's a light tank. But 90mm for a light tank isn't that bad. And turret armor also 90mm. And, well, with a 68 kilometers top speed, it will turn at 48 degrees per second. Rate of fire 11.76 rounds per minute with the 85mm gun, which will do an average damage of 108 mil damage, and it does have an average penetration of 170mm. And the turret traverse is also pretty quick. And, well, I'm not gonna show you guys any gameplay from this tank. So, if you wanna see any gameplay, I suggest you try it out yourself. And, well, right after this tank, I've shown you the T-54 lightweight. This thing actually looks like a T-54. I did not get the T-54 to, well, actually look at it and see if it is like this, just like the same, but it's supposed to be lighter and a little bit faster. It has 1200 hit points, quite a lot for a tier 8 light tank. The Chinese one has 1150. It weighs 30 tons and has another 700 horsepower engine, if I'm correct. It's the same engine as the T-54 can have and the Su-122-54. Its top speed is 58.7 kilometers per hour and it will turn at 50 degrees per second. The hull armor, not really that good for a tier 8 light tank, but it's a light tank. 80 on the front, 60 on the sides and 45 on the rear. The turret armor, in opposite to the hull armor, is actually pretty good. 160mm frontal turret armor will probably bounce quite a lot. And the standard shell damage with the 100mm gun is 250 average. And it has an average penetration of 175mm. And those are the normal shells. And then looking at the, well, the turret traverse speed, 48 degrees per second, pretty fast. And, well, it could be a scout tank with a 390mm view range. You should be able to scout pretty nice, but this tank should also do pretty well when you're actually going to scout. But this gun is going to save your life a lot of times, and the turret armor might help you a lot too. Well, those were the Russian light tanks. I'm going to show you the T-54 lightweight after I've shown you the rest of these light tanks in the garage. So we'll first go on to the Germans. And, well, there's only one new German tank, and it looks kind of ridiculous with that tiny gun. It's a 90mm gun, for tier 8, it's not really that big compared to the other light tanks. At tier 8, there's only one light tank that has a 90mm gun other than this tank, and it's the 1390. Well, the name already says it should have a 90mm gun, but that one is an auto-loading gun, and this gun isn't. But it does have a lot of extras on the gun. But let's first check out the rest of the stats. It has 1200 hit points, and only weighs 20.5 tons, 25.5 tons. So for a German tank, it's actually not that heavy. The engine power, 630 horsepower. But wow, 80 kilometers per hour top speed, that's faster than anything else in the game. Although with 630 horsepower, it might take you a while to get at that speed. And the traverse speed isn't that great either, as the other light tanks have. Only 44 degrees per second. And well, this tank, well, if you're going to look at the top speed and then say it has a lot of armor, it was completely ridiculous. But it doesn't actually have any armor. 25mm on the frontal hull, on the front of the hull, and the turret is 20mm all around. So that's not really gonna do that much. And well, the standard shell damage, it says 182 300, and it's 240 average. And the average penetration actually is 190mm, so this gun does have a pretty good penetration. And the turret traverse speed is a little bit lower than the other light tanks do have. It's a 44 degree per second turn, but the view range is a bit more and the signal range a little bit less. But well, considering how fast this tank is, you'll probably be back pretty fast and then be able to still report the enemy position over to your teammates. So this German light tank might actually be worth playing a game with, so I'll show you some gameplay from this tank too. And then we're going on to the Americans, who got 3 new light tanks. First, well, it kind of looks ridiculous, and to say this is a light tank, well, it's not really that heavy compared to other tanks. It's the T-37, the tier 6 light tank. Although the Americans did have a light tank at tier 6, the T-21. This one might have a little bit of a different playstyle. It has 680 hit points, which is nice. Compared to other tier 6 light tanks, it's about the same. It has a weight of about 23.4 tons and an engine power of 500 horsepower. Its top speed is 66 kilometers per hour, so it's 11 kilometers per hour faster than the Chevy. And well, it's a little bit bigger. Its traverse speeds, it's 48 degrees per second, same as that of the Chevy. But the hull armor and turret armor are something you should not be using. And then the standard shell damage, well, you're only getting a 76mm gun, the T91, with 115 average damage, but a pretty decent penetration of 150mm. You could also mount the autoloader 76mm gun T102. It has the same average damage, but it does have 13 penetration less. And well, this tank actually has 2 turrets. The second turret does give you 20mm of view range more, and well, it's a little bit bigger. So you decide, but it has lots less of squares on the front, so might be that you get a bounce more from it. But still, only 31mm of armor, so do not expect it. The rate of fire, on the other hand, is very high. Oh, I didn't even mount the gun. Now I've got the gun mounted because, well, I actually switched turrets. This is how the gun looks. And when we take a look, the rate of fire now is 18, just over 18 rounds per minute. And the turret traverse at 44 degrees per second should do quite well. The view range, again 390 meters, you could use it as scout, the top speed will allow it, but the armor won't save you when you're spotted. Going on to the tier 7, the M41 Walker Bulldog. It has 2 turrets, tier 6 and a tier 7. And, well, I actually kind of like the looks of this tank. Hope I get it fast. And, well, it has 910 millimeters, 910 hit points, 40 less than the LTTB. But it also weighs a little bit less, 23.5 tons. It does have only 550 horsepower, but its top speed is 72.4 kilometers per hour, and its traverse speed is at 56 degrees per second, very high. You can't really compare it. It's 8 degrees higher than the other tier 7 light tank from the Russians, and well, the Awful Panther isn't even in the same league. The hull armor and turret armor are, well, very low. 25 millimeters frontal and side, and turret also the rear. And the rear hull armor is 19 millimeters. The standard shell damage, well, you're only getting a 76 millimeter gun, so it's still only 150 millimeter standard shell damage, but its average penetration is 175 millimeters. So you should well be able to penetrate even tier 10 tanks at the weak spots. And you can also mount another auto-loading cannon with the same penetration, so it might actually be worth looking at that gun too. An auto-loading gun with 10 shells in the magazine, so that's pretty much. But it will take 32 seconds to completely reload the barrel, or actually the magazine. But then again, you can choose between 70.14 rounds per minute or 11.5 to 12 rounds per minute. But that's a bit lower because it's an auto-loading gun. And once you've outclipped all 10 shells, you will have to reload for 32.5 seconds. So that will be taking about 50 seconds to get a complete new clip in after you fired the first shot and completely empty the magazine. And the third traverse speed is 50 degrees per second, which also is very high. View range of 400 meters and signal range of 745 meters will also be giving you the capability to scout ahead and give your team early fire on the enemies. And then, for the highlight of this video, it will be the T-49 light tank. And well, if you take a look at this, it's only called the T-49. There's already a T-49 in the game. And well, it's actually been renamed. It's the T-67 now. The T-67 is, well, just renamed. Nothing changed to it. So that was actually the T-49, the tier 5 tank destroyer from the Americans that could do quite a high top speed. But this now is the tier T-49. It's the tier 8 light tank with 1100 hit points. So when you take a look at this tank, it has 100 hit points more. Damn. And when you take a look at the T-54 lights, it's also got 100 hit points more, but they do not have that ridiculous 52mm derp gun. This tank will be the enemy of all glass cannons. Whenever they see this tank rolling up towards them, they are sure to divert their shots towards this tank. And it's not only got 100 hit points more, but it got actually got a little bit less weight, and well, not that powerful an engine, but its top speed is 72.4 kilometers per hour. And well, although it's got 72.4 kilometers per hour top speed, its traverse speed might be a little bit lacking with a 44 degrees per second. The hull armor, again, only 25 millimeters on the front and the side, but the side you always have the track with all tanks. That might be blocking a shot. And the third armor, 38 at the front, which is actually quite nice rounded out, so do not be surprised if you bounce something, but the sides and the rear are only 15 millimeters, so be careful. The standard shell damage, 910 millimeters average, with high explosive, and I do not really know, that's a no hash. You do get heat, but you do not get hash shells. Actually, those things are little rockets, probably. But a 910 millimeters of average damage on this gun, it's a complete derp. But then you've also got the average penetration of only 76 millimeters, so the only thing you'll probably actually be able to penetrate are the glass cannons. But they will receive 910 average damage, and for the rest you will be able to damage anything else. You will be shooting high explosive anyway, so what does it matter? You're fast. They will fear this tank. The rate of fire, only 2.61 rounds per minute, is to be expected from a tank that has such a big gun and is also fast. And a third traverse speed of 44 degrees per second. And the fuel range and signal range are the same as its pre-former, 400 meters and 745 meters. So that's just a small part of me explaining the new light tanks, and I'm going to show you a little bit of, well, gameplay from these little machines. So I'm going to hope you'll be ready. So we're in the first game here that I actually am recording live now. And, well, it's a live server, so you could expect this to happen. And, well, only 3 tanks in my team that aren't light tanks, and 2 tanks in the enemy team that aren't light tanks, so this will be a pretty active match. And first off is the T-54. And, well, there's something you could actually expect to happen. And it's that there are a lot of T-49s in this game. And I expect to see that a lot, because the T-49 does have the biggest gun. Let's increase the map size a bit. Let's see, it's actually handling a little bit sluggish. We do have 100% crew on this thing. Well, they've upped the sound quite a bit it seems. And you can hear those howitzers firing off there. Wow, it's actually pretty accurate. There we've got one of those light tanks, those howitzer lights. And, well, I'm actually finding the... Oh, whoops. That's a teammate. I wasn't really planning on that. But, well, it happened, so... Hope he gets over it. Okay. Seems he didn't. Oh, there was another light tank. This gun actually shoots pretty accurate, so that it's loading a little bit slower isn't really a big problem for me. But I don't think I'm gonna buy this tank anyway, so let's see how is it going up against the tier 9 tank destroyer. Instant penetration. This gun does its work pretty well. T30 he gets quite a lot of shots off now. Whoops. Big mistake there, but no problem. Got the kill there. Oh, got a T-37 behind me. And those tanks shoot fast. The T-54 lightweight, as you could have seen, is firing pretty accurately on the move. And whoa, that one penetrated. That was a howitzer shot on one of my teammates. Well, those T-49s do fire pretty hard. And if they hit, it's quite a big problem for anyone going up against it. So, this match is lost. Actually, an enemy gave his own life away there. It's 6:15. Wow, that bad? But, well, I did get my light tank. Fire for effect. Cause more damage to enemy vehicles than the hit points of your vehicles. Oh, that's a new medal. They've also put some new medals in. 1600 damage done. In a light tank. Well, it was a game with only light tanks, so almost only light tanks, so could have been expected to happen. And I must admit, this tank is pretty nice. So, I hope you saw what you wanted to see about that tank. We're going to see about the Speerpanzer. So, here we are. In another random match. It's again the first match. I'm just going to record this live again. And, well, there's only 2 non-light tanks in this whole game, but 80 kilometers per hour. And I hope we're actually going to get to that speed in this battle. I want to show to you how fast it actually looks to go 80 kilometers per hour in a straight line. And maybe I'm going to have to make a team training battle for it. And well, as I said, it only has a small engine actually, so it's not accelerating that quick. We've got some T-49s with us again. There's a lot of T-49s in this game. I also saw a T-41 Bulldog there. But now we'll be able to make a little bit of speed. Let's see how fast we can get this tank to roll forward. Okay. That wasn't fun.
Der Fahrer ist geliefert. Die Steuerung reagiert nicht mehr. Er ging voll durch ihre Panzerung.
Not very accurate there. And I'm dead. Well, that was a disaster. But it wasn't the right game anyway, so I'm gonna show you another game when I get this tank again. And well, since the last game in my RU-251, the new German light tank, didn't go that well, I'm gonna see and take a look at this tank again. Someone actually put camouflage on it. Well, it's test serve, so you got the gold for it. But, well, last game I found out that this tank didn't really have anything to protect itself against enemies.
Auf geht's!
Because its speed and mobility aren't really that great. Actually, the speed is perfect, 80 kilometers per hour. But you need to get to that speed, and with the weak engine you got, you're probably not even going to make it to speed until. Holy shit! All those guys just got in the way of me.
Gegnerisches Fahrzeug ausgeschaltet.
He misjudged that guy. You do not really have the armor here, so you're gonna be shot in the back. T-49s, once they fired, you've got plenty of time to react. But you do need to watch out if they fire and hit anything without any armor. It's probably going to be dead. Oh dear. This gun actually does its job pretty well. Oh, I missed that one totally. Got the SCI here. Oh, that one hurt. But I did turn my tank in time to catch the shot in my track. And again my... oh, not again. You've got no gun depression once you turn your back towards the enemy. So watch out that you're not going to turn your back towards enemies. Gun depression to the front isn't really that great either, but it's a lot better. You'll at least be able to shoot straight forward. But that's just about showing anything I can about this tank. And the speed, 80 km per hour, you'll probably make it in a straight line if you got plenty of room. And near the end of the game, you probably might be able to make it. But in the start, it's not going to be great scout. Not compared to the other tier 8 light tanks. So, I hope you guys got plenty of info about that. I did do quite a lot of damage in this game, but it's not going to be significant or nice. We've got a bulldog. Fast firing gun. And you can see there the fire rate of the bulldog to work. Oh, he stopped firing. And yeah, it's T-54 lightweight. It's a pretty nice tank. But the T-49 is going to be my total favorite. And there you had it. The 160mm frontal turret armor on this tank is able to save you. So guys, that was the last replay with this tank. Going over to the T-49. So here we are in the T-49. And well, let's see how this tank will go up against others. We actually got a 1390 in the team, but there's only 2 non-light tanks again. So actually testing this gun out shouldn't be easy, because you do need to hit something with this gun. So let's see if we can get this gun to hit anything. And wow, it started at 21 to 22 seconds of reload time. So it's kind of like having a KV-2, but then smaller and less armored and a little bit faster. In a live server, this probably will be a pretty big target. Let's see if we can get a fast shot off here. Holy moly, that gun aims slow. Let's see, how is the sniping capability of this tank? Ain't Russian. I actually didn't have to take that second hit, but well, seeming it ain't Russian. Let's get closer a little bit, because Obama won't get my shot. See? Obama ain't that as friendly as Stalin is. And there you could see that turning this tank around isn't going to be good. Wow! Those were some pretty big explosions.
Penetration.
And that's 822 damage done. And it just penetrated. Okay, he's a big problem. He was full health, so let's see if we can get a nice shot in on a full health German light tank. Oh. Let's just kill him first. Holy, what are you doing? 1390 in trouble. Well, he's probably going to fix the problems himself, but 2 T-49s are going to help him out now. That's a quick finish. He didn't really stand a chance against 2 of those. But we still... Well, you did see what this gun is actually capable of earlier. We're now gonna see if we can save that heavy tank of ours. Holy moly, I almost instant killed him.
One of our trucks is damaged.
I'm dead.
Bail out.
There was
This vehicle
no
is
way
heading.
I was going to reload in time. So with this tank it's gonna be fun, but you gotta know when you're going in on something you can't win. And well, that's actually concludes that this tank does have a ridiculous gun, the T-49 I mean, but you will not be able to shoot another light tank with it. You will not be able to kill another light tank with it in just one shot.
One of our gas tanks ruptured. We're low on fuel.
Well, let's see who's gonna reload faster. That was a T-49 that hit him.
Let's roll.
He aimed faster than the other one got reloaded, so T-54 lightweight going up against the and yeah, well, he's not going to be able to survive the ram from him. But as you can see, he's quite capable of working his way around his enemy. And killing the ST-1 without a problem. So, T-54 lightweight is actually pretty good. And the T-49, I like it, but it does reload pretty slow. A 20-second reload with a gun rammer and a well, probably Brothers in Arms skill is going to take quite some while to get. But if you like light tanks and if you like derp guns, it's a perfect combination. And you might actually get top tier. That will put you into a position where you are capable of two-shotting just about everything. And someone actually went AFK in the public test. But yeah, well, gonna show you guys the results of this match. So, here are the results. A bruiser. Wow. I actually damaged the T-49 track and loader, while the T-49 truck and driver and the LTTB was hit in the fuel tank. So, pretty well. I did more damage than the health pool of my own vehicle, and it's actually almost instantly a third class mastery badge. So actually didn't do that bad. 1700 damage done, and I only hit 3 shots, so not that bad. So actually the third shot shouldn't have done any damage, but 2 were finishing shots, so no surprise there. And well, he actually got a medal, high caliber, in the T454 lightweight. He's probably pretty good, but this game, well, it's on a test server, so you shouldn't expect that much. T49, I really like this tank. That's the end of this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.